Hello po, continuation ng aming report sa differential pricing. Limits to differential pricing. If different customers place different values on the same products and services, and if differential pricing is such a powerful tool, bakit hindi lahat ng sellers and businesses ay pinapractice ito? The simple answer is, it is not easy. Some savvy buyers who find they have been quoted higher prices have strong incentives to undermine differential pricing. The fact that a buyer is willing to pay a higher price does not mean they will be willing to do so if they can secure a lower price for the same item. You might be willing to pay $50 for a pair of jeans, pero may nakita kang offer na $40. You would be pleased if you decided to pay $40, pero may nakita ka sa line na may magbabayad ng $30 for the same item, you would not be pleased. In addition, customers who are willing to pay higher prices do not automatically signal their intent to do so, simply to improve the profitability of a seller. In fact, both types of customers may become adept at disguising themselves as customers who prefer to pay or qualify for lower prices. Experienced hotel FOMs, ito po yung mga front desk, yung mga nagtatrabaho sa hotel's front office, front desk area, and desk agents will readily recognize such common guest behavior as misrepresenting their ages. Mas madali nilang na halimbawa yung pag misrepresent ng age, sasabihin ay qualify sila sa senior citizen discounts or their membership in selected groups such as AAA or AARP to obtain discounts targeted for members of these associations. Complicating matters further, especially in the lodging industry, is that savvy distributors and wholesalers of various types can negotiate very low prices with inexperienced RMs and then resell the products they buy to customer segments willing to pay higher prices. This type of capture of consumer surplus is especially damaging to the lodging industry and its entire customer base because, as you have learned, it is that surplus that is typically available to help support lower prices for all lodging customers. When distributors sell products at too low prices, the consumer surplus disappears from the seller providing the product and is instead paid fully to the distributor. It is important to note that in the hospitality industry, distributors do not actually transport products from point A to point B as they would in the case of manufactured goods. Rather, they serve merely as booking agents for hotels and in many cases compete directly for customers with those from whom they originally secured the rooms. This makes their capture of consumer surplus even more damaging to the financial health of a hotel and its customers. If RMs recognize that different customers value their products differently and are willing to pay different amounts for them, it follows that prices should reflect these buyer differences. Despite the difficulties involved, those RMs working in the hospitality industry and who seeks to maximize profits must learn to practice differential pricing by overcoming these 4 pricing related challenges. Perfect knowledge. Unfortunately, it simply isn't always possible to know precisely what buyers are willing to pay for what they want to buy. So, isa ang imperfect knowledge sa challenges when practicing differential pricing kasi hindi naman lagi malalaman ng RMs kung ano ba ang willing bayaran ng mga buyers sa gusto nilang bilhin. Professional buyers can get very good at hiding their actual intentions. As a result, RMs must often base the prices for the products and services they sell on their estimate of the average willingness of customer segments to pay. Inevitably, some buyers' willingness will fall above that average and others below. Despite this fact, RMs must resist the temptation to structure a one-price-fits-all approach. So, RMs must do better than that, simply because if they do not, their more sophisticated competitors certainly will. Alternatively, however, pricing strategies that result in literally hundreds of different price points targeting dozens or more different groups can quickly become unwieldy. When that happens, even talented sales and marketing staff will not be able to communicate the pricing strategy effectively to guests. In the lodging segment of the hospitality industry, even with the aid of sophisticated computer software, if too many rates are offered to guests, the hotel's front office professionals may find they are unable to effectively communicate or manage the property's rate strategy. Next is cannibalization, a significant threat to the implementation of profitable price differentiation strategies is the tendency for high willingness buyers to masquerade as low willingness buyers and thus avoid paying higher prices. So, sa cannibalization, halimbawa na implement na natin sa business natin yung differential pricing. So, pwede tayo maka-encounter ng gantong problema, yung cannibalization wherein yung high willingness buyers can turn into low willingness buyers. Tapos hindi na sila, lagi na sila asa na may promo. Tapos yung mga mag-a-avoid na sila na mag-pay ng higher prices. So, paano tayo kikita? Anytime an RM designs a differential pricing strategy, there must be an effective way to accurately identify those who qualify for the differentiated price. Do hospitality customers actually undertake these cannibalization activities? Yes, they do. Can sellers respond with the effective countermeasures? Yes, they can. So, may example tayo dito na the NRA show. The NRA show and hospitality industry veterans know you are talking about the National Restaurant Association's or NRA annual convention. It is held every May in Chicago, Illinois. This is the world's largest food service and hospitality event and it attracts over 70,000 attendees and 2,000 exhibitors annually from all 50 states and over 100 foreign countries. So, in preparation for the event, the NRA show staff works with Chicago's hoteliers to reserve a large number of guest rooms to be occupied by the event's attendees and exhibitors. Not surprisingly, because malaking number of hotel rooms, madaming pina-reserve para sa attendees and exhibitors ng NRA show. So, yung price ng rooms is may discount, mababa kaysa sa regular price. So, it is an excellent example of differential pricing based on large quantity purchasing. But, are those held rooms in danger of being reserved by non-show attendees seeking to take advantage of the lower rates? They are. To prevent this cannibalization, note the following statement posted on the NRA's official show website. So, ito po yung naging respond nila sa cannibalization ng the NRA sa the NRA show. The National Restaurant Association secures discounted hotel rooms for exhibitors and restaurant or food service buyers attending the NRA show. Should the NRA discover non-exhibiting manufacturers or unregistered attendees in our room blocks, we reserve the right to release those rooms with written notification to the individual or group. Sophisticated buyers of discounted rooms, such as the NRA, understand that it is their own best interest to assist hoteliers in identifying and preventing cannibalization. The best buyers work in partnership with RMs to do just that. Third, arbitrage. If some buyers are willing to pay more than others for the same item, what would keep those buyers who are allowed to purchase at low price from reselling to those buyers willing to pay a higher price? In many cases, the answer is nothing. It is easy to see, however, that arbitrage has a negative effect on an RM's ability to effectively maintain differential prices. As you will learn in Chapter 8, in the time period immediately following 9/11, many U.S. hotels experienced significant reductions in volume. Some responded by selling large amount of their rooms inventory at very low prices to the newly emerging travel resellers doing business on the internet. So sa arbitrage dito yung nangyayari yung bibilhin, 'di ba? Nag-promo tayo, bibilhin ng buyer yung promo natin, then i-resell naman sa mas malaking halaga para dun sa mga customers who are willing to pay higher prices. The resellers offered their recently purchased rooms for resale at markup but still very attractive low prices. The result, in the overwhelming majority of cases, was that the hotels were placed in a position of competing against these arbitrageurs for the very same customers they make themselves were targeting. Fourth one is the questions of legality or ethics. Some observers or differential pricing ask a question that is both fundamental and important. How can an organization charge different prices for what is the same or essentially the same product or service? A related question is it fair to do so? Even within the hospitality industry, there may not be universal agreement on an answer. Recall, however, that differential pricing means offering different prices to different customers based on a customer's willingness to buy. In most cases, a hospitality firm would not be able to defend offering at different prices identical products to identical buyers. Sellers can, however, creatively vary their product and service offerings and criteria that buyers must meet to qualify for these special offers. To illustrate how this can be done, consider that a restaurant may seek to increase its revenues by offering $5 pizza. So, magtitinda tayo ng $5 pizza, but they can mabibili lang nila sa ganung price yung pizza na yon kung bibili sila ng at least 3 pizza at the same time. In the hotel industry, examples of differential pricing are plentiful. Hyatt Hotels, for example, nag-offer sila ng 50% discount for senior citizens age 62 and over on prevailing rates at participating Hyatt hotels and resorts in the continental US and Canada. Hyatt's pricing strategy in this case targets a unique buyer group, which is yung mga senior, and offers buyers in this age group reduced pricing not available to everyone. Each of these selected sellers' value offers illustrate how creative sales and marketing departments can help communicate special offers intended to directly address differences in guest needs and value perception. These sales and marketing professionals then must carefully communicate to buyers the price fences that define those buyers eligible for the special offer. To illustrate, consider that few consumers would find it objectionable for a seller to offer price discounts for senior citizens. All consumers, however, would oppose differential pricing based upon a customer's race, ethnicity, or religious background. Such an approach would clearly be unethical and illegal. The question of ethics in pricing is an important one. The question of legality in pricing is just as important. This is so because, as you will learn in Chapter 5, some pricing practices are illegal in the United States, and as an RM, you must be well aware of these. Differential pricing, when properly practiced, however, is perfectly legal.
Applying differential pricing. One of the greatest drawbacks of a fixed pricing strategy is that it assumes all customers are the same. Although it might seem very fair and even egalitarian to treat each other customer as an average customer, good businesses don't do that. Instead, they treat their customer as individuals. Customers are not all the same. Some are quite valuable. It is for that reason hospitality businesses commonly seek to identify and repair their business customers by planning and implementing sophisticated rewards programs. Paradoxically, some businesses give their lowest prices to their worst customers. These customers are the buyers who feel it is their right to put extreme downward pressure on any seller's value offer, continually threatening to take their businesses elsewhere if the seller does not acquiesce and respond with price reductions. Customers continually complaining about the prices they pay usually get discounts from anxious sales employees who are afraid that business will be lost if these customers' discount pricing demands are not granted. Experience RMS. However, know very well that a price should never be reduced for a customer simply because that customer feels the price is too high. Doing so cheats the business's best customers, those who value a product so much they are willing to pay more for it. At the same time, discounting prices to those who are not willing to pay a fair price subsidize a firm worse customers, those who make the purchase based upon low price only. The US 25th President, William McKinley, pointed out so well years ago, cheap prices make for cheap goods. Desirable customers seek quality, not cheapness, in the product and services they buy. When quality products and services are consistently delivered, customers willingly return. Customers who value only low price will not be loyal customers because they are not convinced of the value delivered by the seller. Selling too cheaply to them inevitably cause a business to suffer. Because customers should not be treated as average, it would follow that in the best of all possible worlds, individual prices should be established for each individual customers, or at least for each individual customers with similar characteristics. Some hospitality professionals use the term segment pricing to describe the process of strategically pricing product, especially for guests with specific characteristics. This marketing-related term can be useful, but it is important to note that differential pricing is often applied within a seller's specific market segments. Experienced RMS know that there are a wide variety of important ways rational differential pricing strategies can be applied in the hospitality industry. These strategies can be grouped into 8 broad categories that can impact differential pricing. First, customer characteristics, location, time, quantity, distribution channel, product visioning, banding, and payment terms. Customer characteristics. One of the most common differential pricing strategies is that of offering the same product or service at the different prices to selected groups of buyers known or assumed to have different willingness to buy. The identification of such groups requires that RMS give thoughtful consideration to the unique buyer characteristics of their specific market segments. In hospitality industry, some common examples of such group include senior citizens, students, families, frequent customers, favored customers, members of select organization, and possessors of a special offer or coupon. To be successful when using customer characteristics as a differential pricing strategy, it is important to ensure that Number 1. There is an accurate method of determining the customer's identifying characteristic. ID cards used to verify age, seller or buyer maintain records of purchase, frequency, and organizationally issued membership cards. These are the examples of accurate and distinct identification methods used to separate those who qualify for a special price for those who do not. Number 2. The product or service sold cannot be easily exchanged among buyers. This is necessary to avoid arbitrage. One method of doing so is to institute a one per customers restriction on purchases. This is to prevent a potential arbitrager from buying large quantities of a product at low price with the intention of reselling the product at a higher price. One example of arbitrage are ticket scalping for concert and sporting events. Some online sales of discounted hotel rooms are another. Number 3. The characteristics used is defendable and acceptable to other buyers. A restaurant that implemented a program allowing seniors to completely bypass long waits for an open table on a busy weekend nights and thus be seated immediately would not like find its other waiting customers quite as accommodating or accepting of the concept. For example, consider the use of advancing age as a characteristic to grant favored pricing status to senior citizens. taking their grandchildren to an amusement parks. For many hospitality businesses, the customer characteristic of possession of a coupon has been an excellent way to regulate or limit the number of their special reduced price offers. Possession of a coupon also serves to definitively identify the coupon holder as entitled to the discount. Historically, distribution of coupons has been restricted to the use of print media such as magazines and newspapers. Today, RMS increasingly utilize the internet to publicize their coupon or other special offers, and they save marketing dollars by permitting buyers to self-print the coupons.
So let's proceed to the location. Location. Differential pricing can often be instituted based on the location of the seller. So, ibig sabihin yan, establishment located in high-end areas demand higher prices because the markup covers the maintenance of the place of business. So, yung another factor din dyan is yung pagiging exclusivity ng isang location. Oftentimes, the absence of competitors drive the price up. Sa pangalawa, product and service prices are often based on the location of the seller. So, kunyari naman, sa airport, yung mineral water ay 40 pesos, tapos sa local store ay 10 pesos lang. Siyempre, yung mga biyahero, sa airport na lang bibili kaysa naman sa lumabas pa sila dahil malilate sila sa flight. Ganon, kunyari lang. 3. A variation of this approach exists when the location of the buyer varies. For the targeted segment for this pricing strategy is local area residents. So time naman tayo. Segmenting prices by time also helps sellers who experience idle production capacity. Time-sensitive pricing is one of the most commonly used differential pricing techniques because it affects so many business. So dito, ang mga presyo is tumataas during peak seasons because there is a higher demand of a particular product or service that the seller offer, while it tends to go down on low seasons. Instituting a reduction in price for all buyers choosing to purchase during the off-peak periods is not the best pricing approach. Kunyari, magbubuk tayo ng flight. Siyempre yung iba mas pipiling mas maaga, kunyari 6 AM, 7 AM para hindi ka na maabala, convenient, kumbaga. Tapos yung isa naman magbubuk ng 12 ng madaling araw, pero same flight lang. Yung isang nagbook ng 12 ng madaling araw pero yung presyo mura kaysa dun sa nagbook ng 6 AM to 7 AM na mahal. Ganon, gets nyo? So, in a business hotel, Sunday night is traditionally a low demand day. So, let's proceed to the quantity. The quantity of an item purchased is one of the most universally accepted reasons for a seller's price differentiation. Variations in the form of reductions in price can be given in response to a buyer's increased order size, the amount purchased at one time or for the total purchase amount, or the amount purchased over a defined time period. Cheaper by the dozen is the moniker that applies to this. It's always cheaper if someone buys on a wholesale basis. So, we have three purposes of offering lower prices for large purchases as a seller. One is it rewards those goods as customers who buy a great deal of product or service from you. 2. It encourages buyers to purchase more. 3. While large volume of customers may be harder to obtain, when their business is one, they are generally easier and less costly to service than other buyers. In different segments within the hospitality industry, sellers react differently to customers who buy in volume. Like for example, may isang pamilya na dumating sa isang restaurant. Let's say 10 sila. And they requested a discount to the manager kasi nga marami sila, so marami din silang order na food. halos lahat ng restaurant businesses are not receptive to that kind of suggestion kasi nga malulugi sila. So while most food service operations are menu price neutral regarding a customer order size, some actually implement policies that can discourage quantity buyers. These operations assess a mandatory service charge on a tables larger than a certain size. So ano nga ba ang service charge? It is a practice defended on the basis of ensuring that guest tips are an appropriate amount or to compensate the restaurant for the additional cost of servicing a larger group. Meron ding volume-related price reduction which is increase the number of total diners served while maintaining the integrity of full pricing for those who are dining alone. Two-tiered pricing allows buyers the option of electing or declining to make additional purchases after their initial purchase has been made. So, let's proceed sa distribution channel. It is a source of business customers to communicate with a source of customers. Different distribution channel exist because they appeal to different types of buyers. So meron tayong two classification of distribution channels. One is direct channel. Ito yung may buyer directly ka sa isang seller na walang intermediaries na involved. Two is indirect channel. Ito naman yung gumamit ka ng isa or more intermediaries and may take a variety of forms. So, ano nga ba ang intermediaries? It is an entity that acts as a communication or service link between buyers and sellers that are unable or unwilling to deal directly. So, merong two reasons why distribution channels are important. One, some buyers prefer to use a specific channel when making their purchases and they are willing to pay more or may feel they should pay less when they use that channel. Two is channel operators, including intermediaries of all types, charge sellers for their services. So, distribution channels affect pricing because additional costs are incurred when we use intermediaries in selling our products, and profit margin consequently diminish. However, the added volume in sales will cover said additional cost. That's all.
I am Shaina Ona and I will discuss the product versioning and bundling. Thus far, we have examined how differential pricing can be used to charge different prices to different buyers for identical products. Product versioning refers to the practice of varying the form of the product or service and then varying price. Sa madaling salita, ang product versioning ay isang pagsasagawa ng isang produkto na may iba't ibang klase na may iba't ibang presyo. For example, ang product ay pizza. Yung versioning ng pizza ay yung iba't iba nitong klase of flavors with different prices. Like for example, Hawaiian for 100 pesos, yung ham and cheese for 150, then yung bestseller na cheesy sisig for 200 pesos. Product versioning is a powerful differentiation technique because often the difference in seller cost between the product versions offered is slight, but the impact on buyers is significant. To make the tactic work best, the buyer price version should be inadequate to meet the desires of less price sensitive buyers such as those who own high performance cars while fully satisfying the needs of more price sensitive buyers. O katulad pa din ng example kanina, yung difference ng prices ng pizza ay 100, 150, then 200. So parang ginagawa yung way ng seller para mas maibenta niya yung 200 pesos, which is yung mahal, sa mga buyers kasi since maliit lang yung pagitan ng prices, why not mag-add na lang sila ng kaunting halaga para ma-avail o ma-experience nila yung bestseller. Diba ganito din sa ibang fast food o resto na kinakainan natin, they always suggest their bestseller or bigger sizes like sa fries sa isang fast food. Di ba pag nag-order tayo ng regular fries, they always suggest for bigger sizes. Kasi yun yung version ng price nila. Merong iba't ibang size regular, large to jumbo. So, tayo naman, ina-avail natin kasi maliit lang naman yung price gap. Tickets for sporting events provide another excellent example of product versioning. Sa tickets naman, karamihan ang alam ay same price lang ng seats na binabayaran yung mga nanonood katulad sa baseball game sa New York. Hindi alam ng karamihan na mas mahal yung bayad ng mga nasa unahan kaysa sa mga nasa likuran na seats. Katulad din sa mga concerts, may VIP which is mahal pero nasa unahan ka at mas magandang experience yung mararanasan mo kumpara sa regular na ticket na abot kaya lang pero nasa hulihan naman yung seats. So, in football, the price premium is placed on 50-yard line seats. In boxing, ringside seating is preferred. And in basketball, it is center court seating that is mostly highly priced. Anytime sellers offer products in a quality range from good to better to best, they are engaging in product versioning by offering buyers varying purchase opportunities. Effective ang product versioning dito kasi nga may mga tao talaga o buyers na gusto ay yung best experience kasi sila yung may mga budget kasi makikipag-unahan sila sa seats magkano man yung price. Well, meron din naman na satisfied na sa likuran for good experience. Airlines use product versioning by offering both first class and economy seating. In airlines naman, they offer seats with different price and service naman. Sa first class, mahal, but meron silang special service like sa seats na lang, they have seats that turns into a bed. They have more space at comfortable during flight. While sa economy, simple plus lang siya with fewest amenities. Some airlines offer business class seats as a mid-grade option. Sa business class naman, if gusto mag-upgrade ng seat from economy nang hindi kasing mahal ng first class, business class ang best kasi you can experience comfortable travel din with maayos na space, meals and drinks, especially kasi unlimited alcohol, beverages sa class na to. Car rental agencies practice versioning by offering various levels of car size and perceived quality. While ang car versioning naman sa agencies, car with different size and quality, iba-iba din ang price. Mas malaki, mas mahal. Mas magandang klase, mas mahal. Food operations routinely practice product versioning when they sell half-size portions for a price numerically equal to or slightly greater than one-half the selling price of a full portion. In restaurants, yung product versioning naman nila is bumibili yung chefs ng brand name vegetables or fruits na canned o nasa lata, then ibebenta sa iba para ibenta ulit sa iba with their private levels na. So, parang gumagawa sila ng sarili nilang product. Product versioning works when nearly all of a seller's customers can easily determine the quality difference in the products or services offered. Effective ang product versioning lalo na't ang gusto ng customer ay yung kung saan sila magiging comfortable. If they want best product or best service, kailangan talaga nila maglabas ng malaking pera kasi dun sa mura na hindi naman nila ma-enjoy at walang comfort. Hotels use product versioning extensively. Kasi sa rooms pa lang, sobrang daming types ng rooms sa isang hotel, so madaming versions. Those RMs working in hotels where room types provide natural versioning opportunities are wise to take advantage of them. Room sizes, features, and amenities all provide grounds for creative product versioning. Like, lagyan lang ng kakaibang amenities kumpara sa isang room yung isa, another version na ulit, di ba? Restaurant wine lists provide yet another excellent example of product versioning. Prices on the traditional wine list fall within a price band that offers low-cost wines for those who prefer them, while providing the opportunity to purchase the very best wines for those discriminating guests who value fine wines highly. Some RMs are unduly concerned that offering lower-priced versions of their products will encourage all buyers to purchase only the stripped-down versions. In fact, the opposite is most often true. Despite the universal interest in paying the lowest possible prices for what they want, few buyers actually are comfortable defining what they want as the cheapest product offered for sale. Recall that these products are known to be selling for a lower price because they unmistakably lack desirable features or valuable characteristics provided by the seller's higher price product alternatives. So, sa wines, hindi porket mura nabebenta agad-agad kasi meron talagang mga customer o buyers na gusto yung mamahaling wines kasi alam nila na yung mga mura ay yung mga hindi talaga patos sa panlasa ng karamihan kaya binababa sa murang presyo. Kasi kung ikaw tatanungin, bibili ka ba ng Bibili ka ba kung alam mong hindi mo kailangan o hindi mo gusto? Siyempre doon na tayo sa mahal, pero mapapakinabangan at gusto natin. Product versioning offers talented RMs many chances to employ creativity and flexibility. Those considering versioning as a way of instituting differential pricing may choose to do one or more of the following. Number 1 is add features. This may include increasing quality, quantity, or the service levels provided to customers. Second is subtract features. Doing it may allow the product or service to appeal to new customers while leaving current customers unaffected. The third one is add a service to a product. Like for example, sa isang open space cafe na napuntahan ko, ang preparation time is 15 to 20 minutes. Pero sa ganda ng view, hindi mo mamamalayan na matagal yung preparation kasi nakaka-relax yung view. Madami silang spots na pwedeng pag-picturean habang naghihintay na dinisign talaga for customers. The view helps the customers to avoid for waiting too long. So, tulad ng sinasabi ko, helping your customers actually slow down and enjoy their life is not just a good thing to do. It is something they count on you to do and they are quite willing to pay you for doing it. Allowing guests to create their own definition of good, better, and best maximizes the chances of offering a product that is perfect for its buyer. Next is bundling. Offering products and services for sale both individually and in combinations allows sellers to increase revenues while reducing prices for those who purchase multiple items. This bundling concept is most effective when the price of the items included in the bundle is less than if the same items were purchased individually. For example, combo type meals like fries, burger, and drink bundle, di ba mas mura natin nabibili pero pag isa-isa natin yung bibilhin, mahal, mahagad. Hotels that offer free overnight parking to its guests are engaging in a form of bundling. For example, yung one room, one parking at one price. Then, sa restaurants naman, they all traditionally offered yung sa menu like tabledo, which are complete meals consisting of appetizer, soup, or salad, then main course, and dessert, all for one price. Hoteliers most often use the term package when referring to the bundles they create. Thus, for example, a hotel resort with a golf course might create a golfers package that for one price includes overnight accommodations, dinner upon arrival, breakfast the next morning, and 18 holes of golf. They also clear states the items included as well as the limitations associated with the offer. For example, sa dinner, may specific foods lang na pwede niya orderin. Ganun din sa breakfast. Kahit na for package, yung in-avail, may limitations pa din. Bundling is most powerful when it is very easy to calculate the savings associated with purchasing the bundle. When these savings are perceived as significant, buyers are more inclined to purchase the items in the bundle. When they do, they increase the total sales revenue achieved by the seller from that sale.
Payment terms. Pag sinabi po natin payment terms, these are the conditions surrounding the payment part of a sale, typically specified by the seller to the buyer. Sa hospitality industry naman, payment terms are often underused means of differentiating prices. Experienced lodging industry RMs seeking to optimize GOPPAR recognize that the method and timing of payments for goods and services directly impact the profits of the operation. Revenue managers, especially yung mga nasa food service, alam nila kung paano nakaka-apekto yung payment form ng customers sa income ng business. Yung mga nasa hospitality businesses such as hotel service, nagbabayad sila ng 1 to 5% of selling price na charge kapag si customer ay nagbayad ng halimbawa through debit or credit imbis na cash. This discount piece can be significant on large purchases and always impact the net profitability of a sale. Nearly all lodging operations and most restaurants, including the OSRs, routinely allow guests to pay with plastics. Pag sinabi ng customer na they'll pay with plastic, ibig sabihin they will use a credit card. Despite the real cost to those sellers for accepting these payment forms. Some restaurants, for example, the famous Carnegie Deli on 7th Avenue at 5th Street, New York City, however, still insists on cash only. for the payment because cash is the least expensive way for the sellers to receive what they are owed. Kagaya na nga sinabi ko kanina, kapag cash lang, wala kang babayarang charge. The advantages of the cash-only operation, of course, is that there are no disputes of cash or chargebacks from the credit card company, no card fees, and no bounce checks. Most buyers, however, prefer options when choosing how to pay for their purchases, and they should of course be accommodated. It is important for RMs to recognize, however, that some alternative payment options are more costly to sellers than others. As a result, the payment method selected can be reasonably used. In some cases, to establish variations in products or service pricing. So this figure will illustrate the impact of payment timing on the seller-buyer interaction. So makikita natin sa figure na kapag ang buyer ay nag-advance pay, partial to fulfill deposit, ang risk ay nasa buyer kasi nakadepende siya sa integrity ng seller na i-deliver yung expected product or service. Sa impact on price naman, this may indicate a reduction. Kapag naman ang time of payment ay payment upon delivery of product or service at checkout, both buyer and seller are in the slight risk. Sa side ng buyer, maaaring yung dumating na delivery is not what she or he expected or basta inaasahan. Sa side naman ng seller is maaaring tumangging magbayad si buyer. Last is kapag ang time of payment is credit account. The risk is solely onto the buyer kasi nakadepende siya sa integrity ni buyer na magbayad, and this may indicate an increase in price. Revenue management or revenue optimization. To truly understand the revenue management, an RM must first have full understanding differential pricing technique. When you understand these concepts, you are prepared to evaluate the many and varied definitions of revenue management typically offered by those in the hospitality industry. You are also ready to assess the usefulness of each proposed definitions. Some industry professionals have defined revenue as the combining of people and systems in an attempt to maximize revenue by coordinating of the processes of pricing and inventory management. Others prefer the act of skillfully, carefully, and tactfully managing, controlling, and directing capacity and sources of income, given constraint of supply and demand. Still, others prefer that revenue management is the methodological approach to allocating a perishable and fixed inventory to the most profitable customers. Each definition, no doubt, contains useful perspectives. Collectively, they stress the importance of people, systematic procedures, control of product inventory, and purposeful pricing as RMs seek to best manage their business income. While there certainly would not be universal agreement with the author's revenue management definition, most professionals would agree that the revenue management processes can be identified by four significant characters. First is, it is an active strategic process requiring extensive tactical and insightful decision-making on the part of RMs. It requires a focus on buyers and predicting buyer demand in response to strategic pricing decisions made by RMs. It entails the effective management of available available product inventory to maximize potential revenue. Last is, it is a primary goal in increasing a business income. Despite its widespread usage, the authors predict that the term or concept revenue management will soon give way to improved term. It will be a good change, but as British novelist Arnold Binet pointed out well, any change, even a change for the better, is always accompanied by drawbacks and discomfort.